Okay, I am back. This is again Matt Cat, the solo gamer, continuing from where we left off last time, with me getting whacked in the Rachni mission. And I am back to finish up that mission. And I'm also back to continue forward with the rest of the Let's Play series I've been working on. I know I've been out of contact for a while, if anybody actually watches these things. I do apologize, work kind of snuck up on me, and things got kind of hectic, so I'm currently in the process of getting all that worked out. And right now, you're watching me fight this thing and get the crud kicked out of me. Garrus, do something. But otherwise, yeah, where we left off last time, I more or less got my rear handed to me by an entire squad of Ravager and Rachni opponents, which did not go well. And apparently I can't aim either. There we go. I never did like the submachine gun, at least not the ones you start with. They weren't quite as effective as I would have liked. But I did eventually get pretty good with some of the later models to where I could really make a mess of things. And with that flamethrower, I'm making an awful mess of these Rachni opponents. Along with their Reaper escort, apparently.
Shepard, the Rachni are backing off. Whatever spooked them won't last. Finish the job.
Okay, easy grunt. I'm working on it. The Reapers sure went through a lot of trouble. And now we see why.
Goddess.
And this is something that's a callback to the second game where a messenger from the Rachni Queen mentioned that something had actually drowned out her ability to communicate with her own kind, and it's heavily implied that was the Reapers. Well, now we know for sure it was the Reapers.
They die alone, silent, far away.
And she's not happy about this.
The Reapers did this to you?
The sour note of the machines is everywhere.
Alright.
I let you go back on Noveria. You promised not to interfere anymore. The Rachni were supposed to disappear.
Remember, we kept our promise. Retreated back through the relay.
And the machines found them regardless.
Started a new home. Beautiful children. Harmony. But the machines came. They heard our song. Their shriek of our notes drowned us out.
So it's very much like indoctrination in a way.
We understand.
Can you still feel the Reapers? Can they influence you?
We hear the machines, but they cannot control us. Remove this last shackle, and we are free.
And this is again another choice.
In return, they will destroy us all. Release us.
She is not happy.
Getting movement here. A lot of movement.
Copy that, Grunt. Are you capable of fighting the Reapers?
We hate the machines. We will fight for our unborn children. Release us.
Yeah, she's angry. Very angry. Which, given the circumstances, I guess is justifiable.
Shepard, we're out of time. We stay here, Arlec Company dies. Is that clear?
Listen up! Arlec Company holds the Rachni off while the Queen escapes. We'll buy you some
And
time. Grunt, fall back
Grunt
to
is
our
not
position and
happy
lead us
about
out.
that either.
Damn you, Shepard! I'm leaving my team. On my way.
Shepard, you sure about this?
That's an order. She's too valuable an asset to lose.
And I like Shepard's very, very hardline viewpoint. It's like, you know, I can't lose something that has that much power. The irony is, the Rachni would actually have been probably the best ally you could have had if the Reapers hadn't gotten to her first. And then here comes Grunt. I like that he's still wearing that white armor. Or that silver armor, as it were. But now it's time to leave. And we have company that does not want us to go. I swear to God, Grunt's using like explosive rounds in the shotgun or something. It's like, yes, I'm going to completely annihilate you because I have big guns.
Shuttle's down that path. I'll hold them off. Get out of here, Shepard!
And depending upon actions you took in the second game, there's actually multiple outcomes of his choice. And I'll explain in a bit when we get to that point, but if you're going to play the series, trying to take the Paragon option actually does pay off at some points. Especially in regards to your crew and your teams. But he's not going down without a fight. And even if it means beating him to death with a freaking club, he's going to go down fighting. And I always liked that Grunt was apparently the most powerful opponent in the game in terms of his abilities, just because he's so strong. But you know, it's like in a betting match, money would have always been on Grunt. And this is a scene that I put in the intro that I created, which I kind of felt that the scene was too slow and didn't actually add up, but I'm actually kind of glad I put it in now, because it does have the emotional impact that you're looking for of a team member surviving against all odds and coming back home. And poor Grunt is just so mangled.
Got something to eat.
But if you did his missions, and if you did his personal quest and actually survived it, and even if, especially if you beat the Thresher Maw in the second game with him as your teammate, he winds up surviving against all odds against the Rachni, which is awesome sauce. I love that he somehow is able to live through what should have killed any other soldier on the Earth. Or in the galaxy, as it were. And now we're back to the loading screen. But I like that Grunt can survive. I didn't like the idea that he had to be lost. And I'm glad that he survived.
Situation, Commander. This could have gotten complicated fast. I hope you know what you're doing, cutting a deal with the Rachni Queen. We got burned last time. I'm trusting your instincts, Commander.
We can count on her support, Admiral.
I hope so. But we cut the Reaper supply of new Rachni troops and picked up some additional Krogan support. I
would call that a victory.
I've got to get back to it, Commander. Watch yourself out there. Hack it out.
And see, Hackett, I think he's like the most interesting character because he backs you 100% regardless.
Hell of a fight.
It was bloody, Rex. We could have used you.
Too busy talking rather than fighting. Feeling restless. A war going on and I'm stuck keeping the peace. I heard you made some kind of deal with the Rachni Queen. If they get out of hand again, it's your ass on the line.
Yes, I know.
Understood.
I heard Grunt managed to get out of there with a few scratches.
He survived.
You could say that.
We'll get him patched up, back in the fight.
Darn
Good
right
to
you
hear.
will.
I should get back to it. Keep me posted, Shepard.
And then here comes Mordin.
Shepard, test verified. Results promising. Can synthesize for universal Krogan immunity.
Good. Then you can put your knife away.
The cure's ready?
No, still need transmission vector. Cure useless unless given to entire species.
You're usually full of ideas, Mordin. You altered the genophage before. There must be a way.
Yes, there is, but
Of
he's
course,
out of
always
ideas.
Possibilities, but time limited. Can't create new infections strained from scratch. Groundwater? No, too slow. Voluntary inoculation risky. Population too scattered for airborne. Unless... Wait, yes! The Shroud. Constant global dispersion of air particles, built by Solarians to repair atmosphere of Tuchanka.
There it is.
Also used by Turians.
We used it to secretly spread the genophage virus. It ended the Krogan rebellions.
I'd be careful who you tell that to.
Yeah, still not getting along, but at least they're not killing each other.
Those were desperate times.
Yes, but useful now. Original genophage strain still in storage at Shroud facility. Can use it as transmission vector, then use Shroud to blanket Tuchanka with cure.
You clever little pyjack. That's our best shot, right there.
And see,
Then
I like
finish your
that
preparations and be ready
Rex
to
is
go.
all behind it now.
Of course. Ready when you need me. We'll be in medbay with Eve until then.
Commander, Admiral Anderson is available on VidCom.
Ooh, Anderson wants to talk. And see, I like the fact that you're slowly gathering troops and personnel and everything. It's what made the game feel bigger than it was. And there's the Rachni workers. And I got Alliance backup. And I got Krogan backup. I got Aralak Company and Grunt. And Aralak is going to be rebuilt. You get a higher rating for them if you survive, if you keep them alive, but you lose the Rachni support. So it's the sort of the double-edged sword, as it were. You know, you get one, you lose the other. You get the other, you lose one. It's, you know, basically boiled down to make a decision and hope it's the right one. Now to go talk to Anderson.
Shepard. So I imagine by now you've wiped the galaxy clean of Reapers and we can all come up for air?
Not quite. There've been a few complications.
I bet.
Aren't there always? Hackett filled me in on the Crucible. Sounds like you've got some knots to untangle.
I'm just glad I could take care of one of them for you. I gather you and Kaylee Sanders were close?
I owe you for that one, Shepard. Kaylee and I met almost 20 years ago.
So they're
We even
long-term
had a run with
friends.
Saren in his early days. She and I were... more than close.
Possible
misses
love
you.
interest for Anderson, but they don't elaborate.
End of the world has a way of reminding you what you forgot to do.
Like get married,
Maybe
have
when the war's
kids,
over.
etc.
Kaylee and I will do something about that.
You'll see her soon.
I can hope. But you've got a bigger problem right now. Like a galaxy full of scared bureaucrats.
It's what you hired me to do.
Mostly
Nope.
you were hired to kill Reapers. I hope you haven't been sidetracked by all the politics.
Nothing I can't handle. What about you? What's happening on Earth?
It's a
I'll
nightmare.
spare you the details. But let's just say a lot of cities around the world have stopped checking in.
That bad?
You and I knew what we were in for, but everyone else?
I don't think the shock's
I
worn
don't
off.
think the shock's worn off yet.
Are you safe?
That changes by the hour. I caught a shuttle evac out of Vancouver, and now we're running from foxhole to foxhole just trying to stay alive.
What about the Reapers?
They're harvesting everything that moves. They're focusing on the big cities, which does give us some room to maneuver.
If
You
that
think you can hang
sounds familiar, it's
Hell,
because
we're
it's
still
also
trying to
the same
talk to each
tactic
other.
used in the old War of the Worlds,
Right now, all we can do is organize the resistance at a local level.
which there is a lot
We'll
of
volunteers at least.
connection to it.
Everybody knows
The
what's at
Reapers
stake.
are an analog for
I don't
those
know how we'll
aliens,
win this yet, but we
only
will.
much more
Even if
efficient.
it kills me.
And not
We've
so
already
stupid
got
as to allow a
mods, and
bug
that
to
didn't
kill
slow you
them.
down. But let's not tempt fate. Keep yourself safe, Shepard.
You too, sir.
We'll talk again soon. Anderson out.
Now there's a skip coming up here, because I jumped from within one area of the Normandy to another because I wanted to cut out some of the wandering I tend to do when I'm in the game. One thing I love about Mass Effect is the level of depth and detail, but by the same token, it makes recording this kind of stuff a nightmare because you have so much downtime where you're not doing a whole damn lot.
Apparently.
Commander,
And then here's Eve
Yes,
again.
Shepard? How did you and Joker make it out of dry dock to rescue us?
And here's a neat little
She got
story.
crafty. You do not want to get on her bad side, Commander.
When the Alliance commandeered the Normandy, I deceived their technicians. The crew did not tell them that I was a true AI. So the Alliance soldiers believed I still had VI programming constraints.
Oops.
I established the fiction that I would only respond to Jeff's commands, so they often brought him on board under guard.
They tricked them.
Wait, you can lie?
Yes, she
Jeff
can.
has freed me of operator control, Shepard. No constraints forced me to give accurate data. This proved useful when the Reapers began landing. I could hack the control of the docking clamps and escape with Jeff inside. The soldiers guarding Jeff were willing to accompany us when Earth was invaded. They are watching over the war room now.
Yeah,
we were
they're
in
not
kind of a
arguing
rush
the
to get to
point.
you. Didn't seem right to just toss him out the airlock.
You look like you're in the middle of something.
I am adapting the infiltration and sabotage programs this body uses for handheld firearms.
Why not download a firearms program from a security firm?
Does not
Because she
have
knows
the
what
same.
she's doing.
The fine motor control
Yeah,
from the
there we go.
sabotage programs is more precise than standard mech software. It would be negligent of me not to exploit it to its fullest potential.
She's
So you're capable of making
She's enjoying it.
improvements on your own.
Correct. The cyber warfare I was designed for is constantly evolving. Accordingly, I am programmed to seek out and assimilate new information. In organic terms, I want to learn.
So great. Now we have a robot
Does that
wants
body
to
have any
learn.
useful advantages?
Why does this not sound like a
Very
good
few.
thing?
It's optics space forward only.
Although admittedly,
It has
I
no
do like
integrated weapon
having
systems or
Eve as a
anti-missile
character
countermeasures.
because she's a
I
much
meant
more
in
interesting
comparison to
persona
organic bodies, not the
than
Normandy.
most artificial intelligent or robot
I will
characters wind
reassess.
up being.
The body is resistant to modern small arms fire and temperature extremes. Its balance and agility seem excellent. It's
But she's
fine
comparing it
manipulation
to
servos and
the
software
Normandy
allow
at
for
first,
precision
and then
tasks.
Shepard has to clarify that
I'm
she meant how does it
curious
compare
see
to
if I can alter
human?
them.
Can an AI be curious?
I am not entirely free from motivation, Shepard. Cerberus programmed me with several core functions that simulate desires. For
That's
example,
interesting concept.
My primary objective to keep the Normandy functioning is similar to your self-preservation instinct.
And I
Carry
like
on,
her. I really do
Understood.
think that
If
her
you wish to
becoming a
talk more,
full-fledged
this
character
body will
was
be here.
a great
I'm getting
addition to
crew
the
used
to the
seeing me
story.
on the bridge.
Noted.
Now there's another jump here because I went to the Citadel after doing about a half hour's worth of jumping around the galaxy, finding stuff and collecting other gears and whatever else you want to call it. I got a bunch of salvage, some more assets, and ran into the Reapers once or twice and had to outrun them. But in general terms, I'm making a habit now of trying to cut extraneous stuff out of the list here because it just
You're clear
isn't
to
worth
dock,
it anymore.
Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
Yes, I need ground transport. I want to go to the embassies.
Yes, Commander.
Shut up. I will admit, even though the loading in this game was a little bit annoying, I do like the fact that they tried to make the loading screens as pretty as possible, which in many cases they succeeded beautifully. The Citadel images in particular were well designed. And originally this was where I was going to cut it off, but after doing editing, I found I had another like 10 minutes of extra space to fill in. So I decided to make use of it. Why am I just standing there? I must have put the controller down for some reason. Either that or I was trying to think about what I wanted to do next in the process, but it makes a good chance to get the system going. And then I actually wound up cutting to another section because I was checking out, the time constraints I used and what was going on, and then I decided to cut to the areas where I was actually doing something. I didn't realize I'd left that much blank space when I was working on that. Huh. My mistake. Alright, but the jump should be coming up right about now, and that's odd. Kind of expected it to have a jump over, but it didn't. There we go. And then
I think
and
I
I
recovered
delivered
the
this
obelisk
guy. I
mentioned
got
from
his
the Shrike
obelisk,
Abyssal.
and now we've got
It's
another
waiting
war
in Bay
asset.
B24.
Really? Thank you, Earth Clan. Were your people involved in a secret construction project of some sort, I am certain this obelisk would help.
Thank you. I'm sure it will. Not that I care.
Thank you again, Earth Clan.
And then I don't think I found his son's info yet, so I haven't gotten into that. Improved power grid. There were things I was looking into that I'd acquired during the course of the game. And I was checking to see what my next steps were. And then I think I head over to the office to check to see if there was anything in the Spectre requisitions that I could make use of. I did drop by Udina's office.
Shepard?
What's your read on the counselors? Any angles?
Tavos is a diplomat. Valorn is out of his depth.
And see, the first time I actually went through this game, which is what you're watching now, I didn't realize that he essentially gets the same dialogue regardless, so...
I'll be here.
When I play through it later on as part of my trilogy set, you'll actually see that I more or less don't even go back to him more than once. Alright, and there's Spectre offices to check it out. And again, this is one of the cool things about the game, is that if you miss something while on a mission, you could actually go ahead and authorize stuff later on, which helped a lot. And then you could also buy different weapons and equipment as you wanted. I never did get my Paladin, which is one of those things I really wanted because I love that freaking handgun. High-powered, easily concealable, and can punch a hole through just about anything that moves. Very efficient. And it was one of those weapons you picked up in the second game, and the reason it's so expensive here is the Paladin wound up being just so ridiculously overpowered.
It never rains, but it pours, eh, Shepard?
That bad, huh?
Things here are getting tense. So many refugees scuttling about, rumors flying about the war. People are walking around eyeballing each other, and we can't keep up with the reports on suspicious behavior.
I like Bailey, but I feel sorry for him.
Better?
It's not a job I would have wanted him to take.
The more destruction the Reapers sow, the more ships come looking for salvation. The strain on our resources is overwhelming.
I'm sure it is.
It'll probably get worse before it gets better, Bailey.
Yeah, if it ever gets better.
I like the statement he made earlier on in the game. During one of the statements that you can actually have with him, he goes, "If it isn't the end of days, it sure feels like it." Which I thought was a bit accurate, if a bit melodramatic, but...
Good morning.
There's no one else here,
I'm
and...
not sure why. There was something important I had to do.
That poor old woman. Every time you come back to the Citadel embassies, she's here, but you can tell she's got like horrible memory issues, so she's constantly forgetting and remembering her purpose, and that winds up being a major pain in the rear because she winds up losing her focus and her ability to, you know, to remember. Specifically, it's her son that she's trying to find out about, who's a soldier. She's trying to remember him, and she keeps forgetting the process over and over, so every time you come back, she's back again. And there's...
No, it's fine. We won't be needing your support.
That's right. There was a supply I dropped in on her, and Metagel capacity increase.
Thank you for shopping.
And supposedly that company is going out of business in this game. Now, at the time of this recording, it has been announced that more DLC for the game is en route, which should be interesting. But on the other hand, when I do the entire 3-part series...
You talking. Grissom Academy is gone, but I found this while I was there.
What is this? Yes, these are tailored to human physiology, but with a few alterations, they should work for the Asari as well.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I needed. Thank you. Tell Matriarch Athena that our huntresses should have the upgrades waiting for them on their next shore leave. No, they were very easy to scale. The humans made some amazing breakthroughs.
Alright, well, let's go talk to Ashley.
Good to see you up and around.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
I guess. Oh, I took Udina's offer.
So she's now Spectre Ashley.
Congratulations.
Seems small compared to what's going on.
You ready for the responsibilities of a Spectre?
Doesn't feel real yet. Maybe it'll sink in. I don't know what duties I'll have. Everything's a mess right now. What do you think of all this?
You're a fine soldier with an impressive record.
She's earned it.
This.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you. He said we'll have the official ceremony soon. Once I'm out of here.
And after? Any plans to come back to the Normandy?
Good question. I guess that's up to
I'd
Udina.
like the idea of having 2 Spectres on one ship. I keep imagining it's just like, not only do you have your own personal ship, you now have 2 elite commandos who can kill the entire universe.
Sorry, I'm so distracted, Shepard. It's just...
What's going on?
I heard from my mom. They got out in time. They're okay.
Good. That's good news.
It is.
Did your sister make it to the Citadel?
She did. But...
Her husband is
dead. Her husband was killed in action.
I'm sorry, Ash.
Thanks. Yeah. Sarah wasn't much for the military life. We were all surprised when they got married.
I wonder how many
war
families
does that
are
to
getting
people.
Torn apart by the Reapers.
I don't want to think about it. Seems hopeless sometimes.
Don't blame yourself for this, Ashley.
I know. But I'm her big sis, you know? In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance.
Yeah, again with her poetry.
But unbowed.
What's that from?
Invictus by Henley. One of my dad's sappy poets.
It's about not giving up.
Right. My sister wants to do a thing at the memorial. Nothing fancy. Just some words about the family. It'll be tough.
And see, I liked the change they gave Ashley. I thought that was brilliantly done.
And thanks, Shepard.
Because I never liked her in the first game, and she was openly hostile to you in the second. Which sort of irritated me, because I did not like that. But I did like the fact that they tried to give her a bit more personality here. And I did like the fact that they gave her a much different appearance in this game than they did in the previous one. But that being said, I still thought it was pretty interesting that she was so vastly changed. And I did like her. I did like that about it. Now, that being said, I'm going to be cutting it short here in just a bit because I'm about at the limit of what I can upload. But what I do like, what I have enjoyed about the series so far is that, you know, Mass Effect has always been a series that incorporates story into gameplay and tries to make it interesting. What I loved about this particular set was that this was the one that had to try and tie it all together. And amazingly, I felt like they succeeded brilliantly. I mean, I admit there were some faults, and there were some issues that came up, but... and here's General Roca. And he is someone you meet in the first game who actually comes back.
You were pretty miserable, if I recall.
Yes, neck deep in drink just before I retired. I'm clean now. Reinstated.
I hear you're taking on the Blue Suns.
I need to do my part for the Citadel, Commander. The Blue Suns are raiding C-Sec weapons shipments. I'm putting a stop to that. Those mercs are seriously jeopardizing the Citadel's ability to defend itself if the war comes here. When the war comes.
And see, he's practical. I like
There are other
Oroka.
ways to secure weapons, General.
And I think he's the most practical of the characters. And he actually gets you a black market dealer that you can get his weapons from. And that actually allows you to get the Blue Suns to work with Arya without having to get him killed.
I'd appreciate your help, and I'll have a plan of action ready if things fall through.
So you can actually choose to either shoot him, or you can actually work with him in order to try and fix the problem. But I like the fact that the game does try to give you options in a lot of these scenarios. It makes the game feel more alive and more intelligently built. But anyway, we're at the end of it here, so we'll stop now. This is Matt Cat, aka The Solo Gamer. I will see you next time.